James Wood hits his first major league home run. This is Dan Homey of the Talk Nats podcast. A huge game for the Nationals, all things considered, as James Wood, the player that we've heard about for the longest time, hits his first home run. A sign of bigger and better things. That much I know for sure. There's been a lot of news surrounding the Nationals as Nick Senzel was designated for assignment and Trey Lipscomb was promoted back to the big team again. In another interesting move, Brady House was promoted to AAA. So it's my assessment that if Trey Lipscomb doesn't work out, or say Brady House has a stellar performance in AAA, that he could get bumped up sooner than later. There are questions around the diamond, so potentially that Trey Lipscomb could move to a different position, say that Brady House really pops off the page, but an aggressive stance for the Nationals. As the Nick Senzel doesn't live up to potential, and they designate him for assignment. Them doing that not too long ago, the same thing with Eddie Rosario. So this team is making changes, and I think that a lot of this has to do with where we're at in the season, that I think that they saw what these players had, and now it's the next wave of Nationals players, and it's exciting. Just talking about the game in particular, it wasn't Mackenzie Gore's finest hour, as he just pitched 3 innings or 3+ innings there, but and then got the hook. Not the best outing for him, but excitement abounds as James Wood finally hits it out of the park. And again, I think that this is just a sign of things to come. And as Nationals fans, you should be super hyped about it. One other thing here as well is that I've been hard on Keibert Ruiz. It does seem that he is finding his game a little bit more, as well as he had 3 hits in the game. So all things considered, I think the Nationals are playing well. Garcia, where's this guy? This was a guy last season that got sent down. A totally changed player this season again. So this Nationals team, I think, is firing on all cylinders to an extent. I think that they could use a little bit more strength in some of their pitching. But all things considered, I'm happy with where this team is at, and I'm excited about what the second half of the season means, what players will be on the roster when it's all said and done. Again, like James Wood, that was this thing that we thought was going to be a long thing out in the future, that someday we're going to have James Wood on this team, but it happened, and he's producing, and I know that you're looking at his success in a vacuum. Is it sustainable? That is the big question, but with James Wood, I don't see him dropping off. I think that he's been a solid performer so far, and I think that it's just a sign of things to come. So make sure and follow or subscribe to the Talk Nats podcast, part of the Belief Podcast Network, and I will have much more surrounding your exciting Nats. I expect this is just the beginning. I expect more moves, and if these players that they signed aren't working out, it's the next wave of young Nationals player. The youth movement that Davey Martinez has talked about, and I've talked about in the show as well. Exciting times to be a Nationals fan for sure. I'll talk to you next time.